Hello, travelers. I am Nurse Kelly, and I am the Chief Nurse Advocate here at Wanderley, and you are listening to another episode of the Happy Traveler podcast, where we cover everything informative and entertaining going on in the travel healthcare professional industry, and we are super excited about today's episode. So today we are going to be talking all things JobRobotix and Wanderley, and I am very excited because we actually were fortunate enough to have the CEO, Ron Gonzalez, join us on this podcast today. So, Ron, do you want to just say hi to everybody real quick?
Hey, everybody. Great to be here. I'm looking forward to a fantastic conversation with you.
Awesome. Well, we're honored to have you. And today's going to be super exciting because the Wanderley Fun Fact today, we've been starting this on the podcast. We've been starting with a new enhancement or improvement or something that Wanderley is doing that's exciting that week. And that is very obvious for this podcast. So this Wanderley Fun Fact today is the JobRobotix and Wanderley integration. So we're super excited about this. So if you haven't heard of JobRobotix before, we're going to get really deep into the wonderful software and different things that the JobRobotix software allows for us to be able to do. We're going to get into all of that on the podcast. But for the fun fact, we're integrating. So what that means is that JobRobotix is able to basically take all of the different jobs that we want you guys to all be able to view on the Wanderley platform. They're able to take those jobs from the hospital systems and use their wonderful software and technology to basically act as a translator so that they can take those jobs and we can easily upload them into our Wanderley system for our clients. So they have really taken out a lot of the legwork. It's really innovative technology, and we're super, super excited to get this integration rolling. So that is the Wanderley Fun Fact today. And if you still have some questions about what all of this means, then we have nobody better to talk about it than Ron Gonzalez, who obviously is the CEO, and he has a very impressive career in this industry. So, Ron, thank you so much again for jumping on with me. Can you tell us about you? We know about your impressive career, but I'm sure our audience wants to hear about it as well.
Sure. Well, another fun fact that people might be interested in is that I'm actually a registered nurse and have been since 1994. Boy, it seems so long ago, but I actually started as a registered nurse and worked for a local community hospital on Long Island, New York, and loved working bedside nursing. And but I always had this entrepreneurial itch. I wanted to do something different. And so I did some medical sales for a little bit and attempted to start another small company that failed. And so I said, you know what, I want to go back to nursing. I was kind of missing the bedside. So when I went back to nursing, I went back through a staffing company. And what I loved the most about that was the flexibility it allowed me. I made a little bit more money than some of my colleagues that I was working on the same floor with. And it really intrigued me that I was able to select any hospital I wanted to work at and make my own schedule. And I also took some local contracts as well. So that was a really exciting time for me. And I loved it so much that I started referring a lot of the nurses I worked with to that staffing company. And the staffing company itself said, hey, Ron, why don't you become a recruiter for us? So I did. I left the bedside. I became a recruiter. I loved that very much. And something I noticed when I was recruiting nurses was we weren't doing a very good job of, evaluating their clinical competency. And the light bulb went off, and that's really when I came up with the idea for my first company. And some of you travelers might have heard of nursetesting.com or Prophecy Healthcare. And some nurses like that and some nurses don't, because they actually had to take our tests over and over again every time they went on a new assignment. And so I feel your pain, nurses. I'm sorry about that, but it was really out of our control. But anyway, we grew that company. And in 2015, we sold it to a larger company. And then I was kind of thinking, what am I going to do now? I had a non-compete. I couldn't really go back into the testing and market for a little while. So I actually connected with an old CTO friend. He's a technology guy who was telling me about this technology that actually captured jobs that came out of vendor management systems and hospital systems, and he was able to automatically push them into other technology, whether it was an applicant tracking solution or a job board. And so I looked at it and I really fell in love with what he was doing. And so I decided to be part of it. I invested in the company And he asked me to kind of run it since he was more of a tech guy. And I said, I would love to do that. And so that's when JobRobotix was really born. And so a couple of years in, and we have a number of staffing companies that use our technology. And we're also working again with Wanderley, who's doing some pretty impressive things in the industry. So that kind of brings us to where we are right now.
Yes, it absolutely does. Well, we're big fans of the JobRobotix technology, and I had to really kind of work through all of the different languages that we use in this industry and all the different, I guess, acronyms especially that we have for the different ways that the software technologies, facilities, and travelers and agencies all communicate. So is there anything else that you can tell the audience about JobRobotix in layman's terms, and then what you believe makes JobRobotix so valuable?
Yeah, I think, JobRobotix is kind of one of these things that came out of a request from a staffing client. So my partner, my business partner, who actually was the founder and creator of the original technology, they were hearing a lot of complaints about, having to manually enter all of the jobs that used to come out of the hospital that they worked with. And it was just taking so much time to do it, and there were sometimes some errors involved. And so he put a lot of time in really creating this innovative software that was able to map and normalize the data that came out of these hospitals so that the jobs that are being pushed in were done very fast and very accurate. And I think that that's one of the things that companies love about this technology. It really saves them a bunch of time, right? They're not kind of sitting there just manually entering job by job. It's done almost instantly. And now that we're connected to over 75 vendor management systems across the country, and we're also working with companies like Wanderley who are doing some really innovative things in the staffing industry, which for me is personally exciting because I feel like the staffing industry has been very stagnant when it comes to technology. So for us, we see a lot of value in that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think the speed to market, getting everything done faster, everything where we can place travelers quicker, it also provides a lot of transparency. On our end, I know for sure we're going to be able to keep clients very happy by being able to upload jobs a lot quicker and also take out that work for them, being able to do it for them and provide them that service by utilizing all the wonderful things that JobRobotix has to offer. So we definitely see the value as well. I want to know about your day. You're the CEO of JobRobotix, so what does a typical day look like for you?
It's I snoop around on our competitors quite a bit. I don't usually like to do that, but I just feel like it's such a fast-moving industry. I like to know what everybody else is doing, and some of it's good and some of it's not so good. But I always like to keep my fingers on the pulse of what's going on with, we call it data aggregation. And so, I spend probably a couple of hours in the morning doing that. I make some client calls. I touch base with my sales team to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. And, I want to say I spend most of my time just doing those things and connecting with potential partners, drumming up different ideas of how we can use our data. But yeah, I want to say that overall, it's mostly kind of just sitting in front of my computer on the phone, talking to partners and my staff.
Sure. If there was one thing that you would want, I guess, everyone that's listening and possibly the world to know about the future of JobRobotix, what would that be? Where do you see JobRobotix heading? Where do you see yourself with JobRobotix in the next year, 2 years, 5 years? Where's the future of JobRobotix headed?
So we're doing a couple of interesting things, but for us, I think the most interesting is what we're calling predictive analytics in staffing. And so, JobRobotix technology has been around for about 2.5, 3 years. And what we're doing is we're actually looking at all of the jobs that are coming out of most of the hospitals in the country. And we're trying to figure out if there's some type of trend that we see. And we're starting to see them, right? There are certain parts of the country during certain parts of the year that have bigger needs in different clinical specialties. And so we're creating this heat map, which is really exciting, that showed the different trends of needs from market to market. And what we hope this does for our staffing partners is help them get ready sooner, right? If they know that, I'm making this all up, but if they know that in September, there's always a big boom for ER nurses or obstetric nurses, then a couple of months prior, they start recruiting for those positions. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
So do you think, sorry, this is just kind of an out of left field question, Ron. I hope you're okay with it. But do you think that you will see JobRobotix through as the final big splash in your career? Or do you think that there's something else that you're looking forward to doing in your future?
That's a very good question. I am a serial entrepreneur, and I always say I started in this business, a nurse with a good idea, and I happened to just, for whatever reason, the stars always aligned with the businesses that I got involved with, and it's super exciting. And so, when I went to nursing school, they never really teach you how to scale a business, right? Or choose your technology partner, or do any of that stuff. It was kind of like on-the-job training, and which I love, by the way. But I want to say there's something inside of me that, for whatever reason, I do like to start businesses, grow them to a certain point, and I'm not too humble to say that my skill set is probably handling businesses between $5 and $10 million, and then after that, it's a different skill set, which I don't know if I have or not. I've never gotten there, but I tend to, at that level, say, hey, I'm looking for somebody who's ready to really bring this to the next tier of growth. And so that's kind of me, yeah.
It sounds like you're a wonderful resource for those companies as well, and we are definitely excited to see what the future holds for Ron Gonzalez. We'll obviously be following all of that. But for now, we're really excited to work with you, Ron. We're so excited about this integration. We're looking forward to getting Wanderley and the JobRobotix teams together and just continuing to move forward on this partnership. In your expert opinion, how do you believe that Wanderley and JobRobotix, this integration that we're about to do, and how can we improve this industry?
So, Wanderley is one of these technologies that it was almost necessary to happen. And somebody, whoever created Wanderley, were the founders and the vision behind the company, so it was pretty impressive to me. When you look at the staffing industry to start, it's one of these industries that, for whatever reason, they're slow to technology, usually one, and then you tag healthcare along with that. That's a little bit more, right? And they come out with this brilliant idea of showing nurses what they're going to get paid, which, when I was working for a staffing company back then, you only got told what you're paid once you sign all the papers and provide all your credentials. So this is quite, they changed the game. So I really like that a lot. I see us as really close strategic partners. You have really good thought leadership part of your team, Kelly, which I really like as well. I've known Tom for quite a long time when he worked in his previous position. So, he's definitely someone who brings a lot of thought innovation to your company. So we're super excited about that. And we just see us working with you guys doing some different things, right? Where we're expediting jobs into a platform that is able to attract talent like nothing I've ever seen before, right? I think you guys really see a significant amount of adoption on your platform on a daily basis, which is really, it's not heard of these days. So I'm super excited about what you guys are doing.
Yeah, we are absolutely excited about it as well. The growth and just kind of being able to continue to create and improve and just do all these enhancements based off of feedback. It's been a ton of fun. I agree. Tom is a complete visionary in this industry and is someone that I'm really honored to and humbled, honestly, to work for. So it's been quite the ride so far, and now we just get to keep continuing. And I was going to say too, how do you foresee our future with with Wanderley, with JobRobotix? How do you see our future together? Because obviously once we integrate with the software, we'll be able to, we utilize all the software, and that will be the step that we take, and that will be what we use and how we move forward. But do you see anything else in the future with Wanderley? Do you see any further partnerships or any other collaborations that we can work on together, or do you just foresee this being we'll just carry out this integration and as long as we can? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that there are some things going on behind the scenes, which I'm actually not allowed to say right now, but I can tell you that we are in early discussions with Wanderley to bring another platform or merge another platform with Wanderley. And we're super excited about that, but it's too early to kind of share right now. But I think travel nurses and nurses in staffing industry will hear about that probably in the next 6 to 8 months. So it's almost like a little, cliffhanger there, but it's going to be really exciting when we announce what we're doing. But
I was just going to say that. Thank you for doing the teaser for me, Ron. You really just amped up the podcast. Now people are definitely going to be super curious and want to come back and hear what the big news is.
It's going to be so crazy. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll just say it. We're going to rule the world. So there you go.
I love that. I am all here for that. I think everybody is super excited to see already it's gone so crazy. I feel like Wanderley has just exploded within this industry, and I'm super excited about that. I'm sure you feel the same way about JobRobotix, and as a partnership, I can only imagine what we're able to do. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to 2019 and 2020. It's going to be an exciting time for all of us. But thank you so much for jumping on. Is there anything else that you want to add? Is there anything else you want to talk about or say? Where can people contact you or find the JobRobotix handles and websites, just everything else that you would want to share? I am so open to hearing about.
Yes, feel free to visit our site, JobRobotix.com, and that's robotics with an X on the end of it, in case anybody spells it wrong. But yeah, you could. Our website's actually about to be updated, so you'll see a fresh website if you visit us next week. It'll be updated, and we'll also be at the Staffing Industry Analyst Conference at the end of this year in Las Vegas. So I think we're actually going to be doing a joint entertainment night out sponsored with Wanderley, so we're excited about that as well.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on The Happy Traveler, Ron. It is honestly such an honor to have you. Again, everybody, that is Ron Gonzalez. He is the CEO of JobRobotix. So this has been an incredible episode to have. We're very fortunate to have this episode in the books. Thank you, Ron. Of course, all of us at Wanderley, thank you. And we are really excited about this continued partnership with JobRobotix. I'm sure you all are curious about the cliffhanger that Ron left us with today. So feel more than free to check back at The Happy Traveler and obviously at wanderley.us. Again, my name is Nurse Kelly. I'm the Chief Nurse Advocate for Wanderley. You've been listening to The Happy Traveler, and we will be back with another episode next week.